Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Harry. Nice. Let me get everybody in here, all of these note takers. Hey, John. Good to see you. Love seeing faces on. Hey, Jojo. Actually, that's looks like it's. Oh, here comes the real Jojo. It was her AI note taker, Jojo. Coming on in. I see Coco in here. Fatima, Joa, Harry. Hello, Harry. Hey, Sam, welcome, welcome. All right. I've been working a lot on restructuring. There she goes. Hey, Jojo. Um, and I'm really excited because I put together a curriculum so that these sessions are a bit more hands-on and you have ideas for real apps that have real viability. And we're just going to do live builds of these, like simple apps that you can create based off of pre-existing either frameworks or assets, data that you already have. What's up, Phil? I love it. Phil is double tasking right now. I need to be doing that. I love that. Awesome. So today, if you haven't seen, the theme of today's training is how to take a PDF and turn it into an app. So as you probably know, there was like this kind of movement. Really, it's like 5 years ago. I remember buying a course on how to learn how to make courses, and courses were the big thing in the marketing world. Everybody wanted to have a course. School has been really the big thing for like the last 2 years. Everybody like monetizing a community, right? And then part of the lead magnets that we saw coming out of those would be like a checklist, a PDF, a workbook, some type of starter kit in that form. And so, how many of you here either had some type of lead magnet like that or have received some type of lead magnet like that in the past? All right, I'm saying, yeah, Joa, Sam, right? So, it's the age of vibe coding. It's 2025. 2026 is going to be massive explosion. We are so early right now. So even just like fitting this in these last couple weeks. I mean, last week I decided to just sit down for like 6 hours and I created a new app called the Vibe Code Component Library. And it was because the last couple sessions here at VC Inc. I was giving you all some of the prompts for the voice, and I was like, oh, I should just make an app out of this instead of giving you this like, Google Docs. And I created an
Yeah.
app and I shipped it. So I had spent 24 hours to create and test the app. I spent 24 hours just like making one post on Facebook and one post on Reddit, and I sold 14 of them. Right. So that's
Ooh.
over 420 something dollars in 1 week from something that I built in like 6 hours. It's a great lead magnet. It's cumulative. It's a great way to grow this community. And it just serves a real purpose and value. It's something that I can continue to build out on. And so, one of the things that I've been compiling for you all are the business models for how to monetize your apps because each app is going to have a different business model. This business model is a freemium model. So I give you most of the components for free. I give you all the best stuff for free. And then I organized a bunch of kits. So if you wanted to upgrade, it's a one time. So this is not your traditional SaaS, recurring. So it's not going to be MRR. Although we can add that in later. The whole idea is that we just start making money that's going to at least pay for your subscriptions. And then we can figure out, some of the bugs. And a lot of times your first buyers are going to be people that know you. So if stuff messes up, you want to help them out. Joa, she brought some stuff to my attention and I like made a double account. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Joa. Because now that's great feedback for me. I can fix it. Joa is still here. She doesn't hate me. Thank you. And everybody's happy, right? And so those are the mental blocks that I want you to overcome because I know some of you are like, I'm so close, or I feel like I need it to be perfect, but a lot of times you don't. You can start making money right away. What's up, Evan? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop on over to my Lovable space and at lovable.dev. Now, you can use, of course, any vibe coding platform that you want. You know that I'm a lovable girl, so that's what I'm going to be using. But the idea is, is the same. We're using natural language in order to create an app. And one of the things that we're doing with the PDF app is we're creating, sorry here, we're creating an app based off a pre-existing document. And that's really helpful because a lot of the work and the data is already there for the app. All right.
Mm.
Hey, Carla. Hey, Talha. Hey, Faiz. Let me know if I'm saying that right, and my apologies if I didn't. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all here. Now, the first resource that I'm going to post into the chat and share with you right here is the Lovable GPTs. And I shared this resource last week, but these are a series of GPTs and let me go ahead and put that in the chat here, that are all created by the vibe code engineer, Lazar, at Lovable. So this is an official Lovable employee. I made this just so that they're all like in a nice um, palatable format, right? And so you have the base prompt, which we're going to use today. There's the PRD generator that stands for product requirements document. This is great for helping you to create your knowledge base. We also have your idea validator. So if you're sitting there and you're not sure if it's a good idea for an app that's viable, that has a market, the idea validator is a great GPT to conversate with around your ideas. The debugging prompt wizard. So this is for after you've created your app, you're running into issues, you can always debug with the chat mode, right? I've talked about the rubber ducking method before, but if you want to save credits and there are things that aren't specific to your code in your database, you can also use the debugging prompt wizard. Okay, that's a credit optimization trick. Knowledge base creator. So these are kind of similar, the PRD and the knowledge base, just depending on your use case. The working prompts, so it's just when you get stuck in the vibes, and the design assistant. Now, the base prompt has somewhat of the design assistant, but if you're like a very aesthetic person looking to really just focus on the UX of your app, then the design assistant one. But we're just going to use the Lovable prompt creator today, okay? And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to upload, or actually I have it on in my downloads already, and I'm going to upload the PDF that I am going to be creating the app from. All right. So again, this was just like a PDF from my therapist. It's like it goes over different value systems that you have, like your values around like your friends and family and relationships and how you value business, like these different kind of big areas of your life. And she was like, "Oh, I want you to work on this." And it's a typical PDF, which is not actually some PDFs have the fillable aspect. This one doesn't. So you either have to print it out or like import it into something like Canva or like modify it so that you can edit it. And that's like a huge pain point when you're wanting somebody to actually adapt it and use it as real curriculum, right? So that's why we're going to build an app around it. And so in this lovable base prompt, it's like, I want to build an app based off of this PDF. And then it's always helpful to tell like the who we're building this app for and what's the problem that it's solving, right? This is geared towards anybody who is interested in doing some self-reflection and honing in on their value system. It should feel like an interactive, pleasurable, reflective experience, right? So notice that I'm not really talking a whole lot about, the colors. I'm talking more about like the experience, and I'm talking about who it's for, because this GPT is actually pretty good at extracting a lot of those things. And I use this GPT actually to help my friend make an app. We made the app in 1 hour. We collected and connected the 11 labs, and he already has 2 paying clients on it. So again, I'm talking about like, we're going to do a challenge, and the challenge is going to be like, get your first paying customer in 3 days. So that's coming in January, because it's getting faster than ever to ship. All right, so here's a beautiful intention, powerful use case. It should feel like an interactive, pleasurable, reflective experience. And so here again, I noticed that the GPT always asks like how they should feel, right? That's a lot of times I just realized that I accidentally sent the lovable GPT, instead of sending it to everyone, I sent it to a note taker in the chat. My bad. I just put it in the general chat. All right, so here we go. Guided worksheet. So this again, GPT is really helpful for coming up with that base prompt so that we don't waste credits in Lovable, and we come to Lovable with a ready to go prompt. The GPT we're able to give an upload to it, and it's able to extract the data and the information from the upload to give us further ideas. So that's why starting with something pre-existing like a PDF, and next week I'm going to show you how to do it with a custom GPT. But the idea is we're taking a pre-existing data source and we're using that to build an app around. All right. So it noticed the topics. It sees that there's reflective prompts. It's open-ended and design focused for like a personal insight. So here, now it's going to ask some follow-up questions. The core feeling is, like organized and in control of their life, right? That's like the whole point of therapy, I think. So it's like going from that route, we're gonna go any must-have features. Save the journal entries so users can track progress. And what that's going to do is it's going to translate and it'd be like, oh, that means you're going to need authentication. And so it'll prompt us to connect Livable Cloud and then say, you know, like this would be more like a quarterly tool. Okay. So now I'm just going to give a couple more of these clarifying points. And now you can see it feels like it has enough data to actually generate the base prompt. All right. So again, this is by the official vibe code engineer at Lovable. And so he's trained it, on the docs and some of the best practices. You see it's in markdown language, which is with the hashtags and the asterisks or whatnot. And so it always kind of has this overall structure, right? There's a mission statement. This kind of helps anchor the app. This is something that we're going to also want to add to our knowledge base later. The project name, the target audience. So these are the things that are persistent. Whenever we have something persistent that doesn't change dynamically, that's part of our knowledge base. And it's also what we want to put in our first kind of prompt to let the agent and Lovable that's building it know the overall mission, right, that we're trying to achieve. And then we have the core features and pages. Okay. Now, again, this is going to be based off of the PDF, and I'm also going to give the PDF to Lovable. So it'll come up with the typography, it'll come up with the color system, and some of you may have noticed if you built vibe coded apps that a lot of them look the same. So that's why I really love this prompt, because every single app that I've created using this base prompt generator has a distinctly different look that's based off of what we want the user to feel. Okay, so we can always come back and edit it, but it's nice to have just something off top. So especially when we're just trying to ship fast, this will help it not look at like every other app. Okay, so now that I have my base prompt, I'm going to go over here to Lovable. I'm going to still attach the PDF. All right, so that it knows to reference that, because basically I want to build out this PDF. And actually, let me show you what the PDF looks like. Why is it? High level. Sorry, y'all. Trying to find. It wouldn't let me like drag and drop here. Where is my dang PDF? It's called Values Self-Exploration. Why is it not? Values. There we go. And then let me just actually share what it looks like so we can kind of get a comparison. Well, actually first I'm going to put and I don't know, I'm sorry why my cursor is like really lagging today. I don't know if my computer is just overwhelmed. So I'm going to put the PDF in there, and I'm going to put my base prompts. I want to build a reflection app. And then I'm also going to add in here that I have attached the PDF that I want to base the app on. Please use this as the first reference. All right. Whenever we give any type of attachments or tools, it's really helpful to let the agent know how they should utilize that tool. All right. So I'm going to put that in there. And then it's going to go ahead and generate. Oh, this is a new feature, y'all. So it says that I sent 25 messages to Lovable, I guess today. These reset every day. And so you can actually get credits. So if you can use Lovable Cloud in a project, if you send messages, there's this new point system. Some people said that they haven't gotten it on their accounts yet. I don't know what their process is. It might just be that they yeah, like they push it out to some, but I'm sure people will start seeing it. So Jojo said, do you always choose to add base emotional feeling for prompt for customer? Please explain. For something like vibe code, the components library, not so much. I mean, it's like I want the user to feel like, there's like an ease of navigation, right? So there still is an emotional, but because this is more so, oh, here I gotta just choose what workspace. But because this particular kind of like values-based, like reflective, it's like rooted in therapy and things, it's kind of like an emotional subject. So therefore, I'm going to lean more into the emotional value of it and wanting to talk about it. Evan said, I've been building up prompts in Claude. Why is it better to do it here? No, you can still use Claude or whatever if that's working for you. I'm just showing you the just a GPT that was built by the vibe code engineer at Lovable. So that's all. It's just been trained on the Lovable docs specifically and formatted, to be optimized in Lovable. All right, so that's generating. It'll probably take around 2 to 3 minutes. And so while that's happening, let me actually go ahead and share, do a quick screen share of that. Let me just shut down some of these tags here and some of these programs, because I think my computer, despite my M1 chip, is being a little slow. All right, so that we can just do a visual comparison of what the input, which is the PDF, is, and then the output of the app. All right, so I got it here, and let me go ahead and just share the screen and kind of talk through the ideas of how I think this would be useful in an app and the value propositions for if we were going to sell it. All right, share. All right, so this is the worksheet, right? And it has some baseline stuff, values, it defines them. It gives instructions. So these type of headings are going to be really great for the agent. I'm sure it'll pick up very easily on like these type of headings. It has these cool areas, so we can already kind of imagine this as an app where you hover over these things and they have some type of animation, that a responsive animation. You could maybe click on it and it scrolls to that particular section. And as you can see, each one has 3 questions, so it's very structured. It has this sliding scale, and I'd imagine. Oh yeah, we don't. I see Joe just like slow down. I'm just kind of just showing just the overall. We don't have to look at every single question, but the idea here is that we have several different components, right? We have this sliding scale, or it could be like either displayed as a sliding scale, or it could be displayed as a radio button. Then we have these 3 long form questions. So this is where we would want to have like voice typing or whatnot. And so this is actually where the vibe code components library can come in really handy. So now that we've seen the PDF, the app is still connecting in the background, or it's generating in the background. Let's go see how she's doing, because sometimes right now it's saying getting ready. Sometimes it'll say waiting for further instruction. And the further instruction is that you need to connect to Lovable Cloud, and you'll have to do that before you see the generation. Okay. So here's the vibe code component library. So off top, something like voice typing is going to be a really powerful component for this app, and something that takes that kind of just flat PDF as like maybe something that somebody references and then they write in their journal. But we want to make sure that this is usable. And so a more kind of like tech forward approach would be, hey, they can come to the app, they're going to write down and do reflections on their family values today. They're going to be the 3 questions related to the family values, and they can click here. Yeah, so I really value my family time. I make time during the holidays, and I love to cook special meals or whatever. See, and it basically does the typing in real time. I can see what's being transcribed, and then I have it in a text box, and then I could submit that or whatever you would normally do in a form. So that voice typing component, here's the prompt here. You easily could just copy that and put it into the chat. And sometimes it will automatically do it, and sometimes it won't. So now you heard that do-do-do-do. It's one of my favorite sounds, that little dopamine hit right there. Here we go. It says reconnect with what truly matters. Clarity Journal gives you thoughtful reflection across 9 core life values. No rush, just the space to breathe, think, and grow. A different kind of journal, not a daily diary. It's 9 life values, guided prompts, track growth, ready to begin. Okay, so it has like this neutral color palette. It gives us the 9 areas. Family relationships. And see here, it doesn't give us voice typing, right? So that's going to be like a major quick win. But thankfully, I have the vibe code components library, so I can just go over here and I can copy that prompt, and then I can come back and I can say, I can just paste the prompt in here and create a voice to come. And I'll just add a little bit for all text, long form text areas, and then put it in. And so that's going to instantly upgrade my app, right? So somebody, if there was 2 apps, then these were identical, right? It's like one with voice typing versus one that isn't, right? It's like, there's a clear winner here. That one, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about creating smart forms. That one feature, it's like I'm hoping that everybody utilizes that if you have any app that requires big text field, right? And let's see, this now so far, this app cost me 3.2 credits to make. Now, as you may know, Lovable, they have a free plan where you can get up to 5 credits per day for up to 6 days a month. All right. I've seen people actually build like full apps based off of that. And then we added this, or it's finishing the typing component. Let me see, I think. Joey said that's a beautiful page. Doesn't look like the normal vibe code look, right? It's a pretty good base. Like, and then you can go back in and still, of course, edit the colors, but it gives you a better base than like the very standard out the box. It usually at least comes up with a more unique color palette and a better fonts. And those two things alone can make your project stand out. All right, so now once we see that the gray arrow is back, we know that our prompt has finished and we heard the little thing. This prompt 1.2, the best 1.2 credits that you're going to spend, because now we have the voice type. Click, take your time. There's no rush. Click the microphone to use voice typing. Ideally, what would be your family relationships? My family relationships would be where we have monthly dinners. Okay, so it stopped there. Now I would probably go back in and oh, it's still recording me. Oh my goodness. Why are you listening in? Stop it. So this is where be like go well, one, whenever I see an error like this, it's like, can I replicate the error? Was that like a one-off debug before I go in? Or is it so let me actually just like refresh the page because I hadn't done that since adding. And note there's the refresh page button up here. And let's go to let's try it over here and just making sure that it actually applied the voice typing component across pages. Something else I might do is want to make the voice typing component more obvious or change the UX of it, but at least it's there. So the sort of friendships I'd like to have, I want to have friends where we get together regularly. We have a shared love of common hobbies. Okay, so right now, what I'm noticing is if I stop, it stops. So I need to ask for it to have a longer period to let the user talk before the microphone stops, or rather like prompt it to say, do not stop voice input until the user clicks again. So, oh, it's still listening. So I gotta let me let it know that. The voice typing component works, but it appears to end before the user can finish their voice prompt. Please ensure that the voice captures all of the user input up until the user ends the voice typing feature by clicking the microphone a second time. Something like that. And that, let's go into chat mode and see, explain what is happening and how it can be fixed. And notice I have typos. It's not like the most grammatically correct, but AI, as long as you're being very clear about what the intention is, it can work. So I love to do voice prompting, not only making it a feature in my apps, but also using it to build my apps like you just saw, right? Just being able to articulate as best that you can. In chat mode, it uses 1 credit flat. And a lot of times it's great for debugging because it's actually, I could put this in the debugging prompt. I could put this in Claude and be like, hey, I'm working on a vibe code project and it's not, it's cutting off my voice before, or try to explain. But Lovable already kind of has an idea for what's happening because it's able to look at the code, see how it's saying, I can see what's happening. Right? If I go to Claude or even the debugging GPT, I'm not necessarily going to get that because it doesn't have the whole context, or it might actually hallucinate what it thinks is happening and then give you a debugging prompt that's not applicable to your project, thinking that the code is structured differently, and then it's not, it can kind of get messy. And so it's worth it to do a couple credits. Like I said, the vibe code component, like you can build and ship an app in like 100 credits is more than enough. That's about what, $25? You can make back $25 easily off of 100 credits. All right. So it's like there are times that you want to preserve credits, like when you're creating your initial prompts. And then there's times where it's just out of convenience and whatnot. And we want to just do chat mode. So chat mode here, you'll see again, it gave me all of that and it cost 1 credit. But especially if you're a new vibe coder, it helps to understand the reasoning of why certain things are happening. This is kind of how it becomes an educational experience as well, because you start to kind of develop a muscle memory of the like common errors that you see. Um, let's say Marla said, and these are charged every time it's used, for example, an order form for chef services. So Marla, there's two different things. The chat mode is charging 1 credit every time I use it, and that's just for me as a builder in Lovable. The pricing is different for here when somebody is using my actual app. That is not consuming credits, okay? The credits, the 100 credits that I'm talking about out the $25 plan, those credits are only for me as a builder creating the app. And the credits are used to either build the app, like our initial prompt, that 3.2 credits to create the app, or for chat mode, which is 1 credit flat rate every time you put in chat. But what you'll notice about chat mode is that it doesn't take any action. All right, so that 1 credit is going to identify the problem and then come up with a plan. Then I will click implement the plan, and you notice how chat mode clicked off. That's because it went back into builder mode. And so now it's telling the agent, it developed the prompt for me. And now it's going to take the action. All right. Whereas, let's say you're sending this app out and people are using it, they're using the voice typing and they're adding in, it's not going to deduct from your 100 credits. It's going to deduct from your cloud credits, because this is using the web search API. You can also use your own API tokens, and then it won't use those AI cloud credits. But the users on your app, you'll be paying based off of the number of users and how complex the AI is. So if you had like an app that's generating videos, it's going to be a lot more expensive than an app that's generating haikus or something like that. Okay. Evan said, all of the suggestions Lovable makes are awesome. I keep saying yes to everything. Yeah, this was a new feature that they rolled out about 3 weeks ago, where it has these suggestions down here. So it will actually look at the context of everything you're saying in the left-hand field, and it'll give you options. When you click it, it will automatically put in the prompt. So add a visual indicator showing the intern process. Now, it's kind of like when you go to eat food and you get this nice plate of food in front of you, you should taste the food before adding the seasoning. Like, I love seasoning, right? But it's like you want to make sure that you get like the base, right? That's how I kind of feel about the prompts down here, because you can burn also through a lot of credits or start just adding features on because you're like, I never thought of that. I'm gonna click. That can be a trap. All right. So it's kind of like test the app, taste the food first, and then see what seasonings you might need afterwards. Okay. So now it's telling me I spent 1 credit to analyze the situation and come up with a plan. And then I spent 1.2 credits to implement the plan. All right. So it said, let me first read the reflection. I'll fix the voice recording now uses refs to prevent re-renders from aborting speech recognition. It will continue until you explicitly click stop. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So I always like to give it a little refresh here. And let's just see. Let's just try it here. What are your ideal forms? My ideal form of recreation or relaxation is to vibe code with a cup of tea in a fun environment and maybe even read a book afterwards. Okay, there we go. So we can see like 2 credits, we were able to fix that. We're able to test that. And then we actually want to test the app. Okay, do we like this interface, right? Now, does anybody notice something that's missing here? What else can make this app better? What do we want to see here? You saw the PDF, we saw the intro. Images. What kind of images? I'm seeing images, back button. Images, back button, taste test first. I was doing like Evan, yes, yes, add. No, I'm doing it too. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Nav bar. Okay, so we kind of have a nav bar here. How could we improve the nav bar, right? And this is also where the outcome, the login portal. Excellent, excellent. So we want to take like the most crucial images, ability to add custom journaling categories. Great. So this is where things can get out of control because we have to build end to end. All right. What do I mean by building end to end? What do I mean by building lean? Let's talk about what the MVP of this app is. Remember, we created this app based off of a PDF, and the PDF is a success if a user can judge themselves, circle an option of where they feel this value at is in their life from a scale of 1 to 5, and then write in the prompts. So at the very baseline, that's the MVP of our app, right? The outcome, like maybe an AI generated outcome, the ability to add images, either us adding the images or having the user upload images. The even like the nav bar, it could be improved, but it works for now. The back button, like you can get to all the components. So those are not even MVP. The only thing that we want to make sure first that we build end to end is the ability for the user, one, to yes, to log in, to judge the 1 through 5 scale, and to create journal entries that they can then save. If we have those 3 features, we're ready to ship our app. We're ready to get our first user. All right, those first features. So the one was the ability for the user to log in, the ability for the user to judge themselves 1 through 5 on that scale, because that was one of the key features of the PDF, and the ability for the user to create journal entries based off of the prompts and save them. Right. So do we see how those are the 3 MVP features, and how something even like I love Carla B said the outcome, right? So maybe like once they finish their journal, or once they finish a section, they have like an AI coach that's rooted in your personality. You can make an agent to analyze that and to give them feedback, or to share, hey, based off of your input, these are how your values have shifted over time, or that, but that's extra, right? We want to create this in alignment with what the PDF served, right? And so that's the end-to-end process. And the reason that I stress this is because this is where so many people get caught up, and this is why people don't ship. Or like I was at the N8N 11 Labs hackathon on Thursday. I was a judge and a mentor. And I noticed that hackathons, like there was a lot of people there that had really great ideas, but they try to build out too many features. There's only 3 hours of hacking time. And at the end of that 3 hours, you have to submit your project, no matter where it stands, and get up in front of a panel of judges and pitch your idea and a working demo in 2 minutes. That you need to be able to do that. All right. So even though some of them had really great ideas, what's more impressive to us as judges is if you could show the end to end and then talk about the ideas that you're going to implement. But we want to see at least one demo of here's an input, here's an output. It worked all the way through. Okay. So let's say start your reflection. And right now it doesn't have the ability for me to log in. So adding a login feature, I think, would be like the next natural input, right? So it'd be like, I want to have the ability for users to log in and be able to resume their progress and view what they have finished. Please add a login system. And this is where it's going to probably tell me, did I just say Aya in the prompt? Okay, now that is something that I know I want to build. It's not debugging. So I'm going to just put that into regular build mode, not chat mode, right? Because I don't need it to give me a whole plan. I already know what I want. Okay. Now you see how it's saying enabling lovable cloud. It didn't ask me that before. Anytime we need to have a database, we have to enable cloud. Okay. And when I'm saying I want to have an authentication system, user login, the ability to resume progress, those are all key phrases to the AI that's like, hey, you need a database, and it's going to prompt you to do Lovable Cloud. So as you can see here, Lovable Cloud will connect in 1 click. Before, you would have to get a Supabase account and then connect it to Supabase. Technically, Lovable Cloud is still on Supabase, but it's like their white label version. And so that you don't have to go get your own Supabase account. If you have more complex app and you want to be able to call the database, or you're processing it from a lot of different inputs like an N8N workflow, then maybe you still want to connect Supabase. But for something simple like this, for connecting for creating like a PDF or a lead magnet or an app like this, cloud is fine. All right. It's just, especially if you're new, super easy. Jojo said, show how, where do you change to build model again from regular place? I'm sorry, can you rephrase that question? And then I also see something from Evan.
You
What?
changed the build model from the other model. How did you do it? You made it into the build model. I
Oh, okay.
didn't,
So,
I missed it. I missed
no,
seeing how
oh,
you did it.
well, what I was saying is that by default, I'm in build mode. When nothing's selected and I type in a prompt and I click enter, unless it needs to have a bunch more information, it will start building that. So you notice how I said I want to create a login system. It didn't ask, the only thing it asked me was to connect the cloud. That's a one-time connection. And then but if I was like, hey, I'm thinking about adding this new feature, I want it to be able to do this, I'm not sure, can you come up with a plan on how to implement this feature? I would put that in chat mode. And when it says implement the plan and I click that, it automatically switches for me to go into build mode. Okay. I saw a hand from Evan.
Yeah. Um, so just love what you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I, so I had a question that's kind of related to all this, and that is, I built out an app for this guy who teaches basketball lessons to kids, and I had it initially like tied into high level, but I think I just made it super complicated. I mean, I just want people to be able to sign up for classes. So then I was thinking, well, why don't we just create like this? The terminology was end to end, right? Just people can buy it on the app. It can produce class lists and everything like that. Would it be best if I said, hey, Lovable, take a look at what I have already. Here's what I'm thinking about doing in terms of like a back end, like full featured. Um, should I go through one of the Levelwood GPTs to like ask for that or?
Yeah, I think it just depends on like how I don't know how much you've built in your code base, because you can also like kind of like I've uploaded like all of my repo even to something like Claude and it's like, hey, can you analyze this or like extract the core functionality and
Mm,
tell me? And then that's kind of why the knowledge base is important because it's what's persistent about your app.
mm,
Right? What is the thing like who's it for is not going to change typically unless you make an
right.
intentional change. The problem that it's solving is typically like something that's persistent, etc. So it'd be like, hey, I'm creating a like login app, like, for a basketball coach to teach, like, what does it include? And then this is the part that I see a lot of people getting caught up on is who the different users are and what permissions they have. So if it's a coach, that's a specific type of user that has specific type of permissions. If it's a student, that's a particular user with permissions. If there's parents, that should also have the ability to like see have their own type of account for parents of a student to track progress. That's like its own. So one of the most important things that you would want to prompt to keep your database together would be who the users are and what each user experience should be like and what they would have permissions of to, because that's where I see a lot of people that are making those type of apps get caught up where it's like the AI just gets confused on who should have what permissions or what the relationship is between users if there's.
Okay. That's great advice. Thank you.
Yes, and I see a question here also from Marla saying, "This is so great, love it. Is there a session where someone can help troubleshoot my app?" Yes, so I'm starting a new series for VIPs. It's going to be every Tuesday. The time may change, but right now it's going to be from 2 to 3 p.m. and it's going to just be like a build lab. All right, so this is more of like just a workshop. You could follow along if you want to, or you can just soak up the information. We're kind of like building together. I'm getting feedback. This is going to be where we just like come and work. It's just a work session, right? So if you just want to like have that time that you dedicate, that you can carve out of your schedule where you know that you're not going to build alone, it's going to be from 2 to 3 p.m. on Tuesdays. And I might extend it or add more in depending on like people's availability and showing up. That's going to be one of the new things that I bring in. And then I'm working on a couple other live streams as well as a new series that's going to be on YouTube, Vibe Fitness Fridays. So this is just to make sure that we're not like slouching all the time. It's like, what do you do for those like 2 to 3 minutes while you're waiting for your project to generate? Well, we can get in some squats, some wall sits. You know, I'm officially a Zumba instructor as well. So it's actually going to be a fun Vibe Fitness Friday. So it will be incorporating building an app with fitness activities while we're waiting for our app to generate. So there you have it. Like Phil's already on that hype. So all right. So Christine said, I love getting initial MVP done for hackathon and then being able to add on components when there is time or after submission. Absolutely. That is major, Christine, because honestly, there were some people at the hackathon that probably could have won if they just like built a little bit leaner and were able to show the end to end. Because I got to see some of the projects, but it was just like, and that 2 minutes is where it counts, and you need to be able to have that end to end. Okay. Let's see. Evan had to jump. Okay, yeah. Self-care with a vibe. Yes, yes. Jack said, apologies, late to the party. I don't know if this has been discussed. The apps and websites built on are default hosted on Lovable. Are there any shortcuts for exporting them for use on another server? So the way that I see most people do this is you see this little button up here, Jack, in the top right-hand corner next to the publish. That's where you can sync your project to GitHub. And GitHub is like a code repository where you can store entire projects and be able to keep that code so that it's basically exported away from Lovable, and then you can add it to whatever other platform. Like I see a lot of people using Vercel, for example. So that's in the shortcut that way. And I just want to remind you all that in VC Inc., I added a course last week. Sorry, my little Zoom bar is in the way here. Hold on. I'm like, oh, of course, my my computer would just be like insanely slow out of nowhere. Here we go. So let me move that. In the learning tab here, it's this overview of the Lovable interface, okay? And in this course, I literally show like what every button does, everything in the interface. I go over like all of these buttons, what they do, how to use them, the GitHub syncing, the publish, like what you're missing, how to find out your credits and like your Lovable use, your AI use. So that's all in that this Lovable interface. Okay, so it'll show all of that for you. All right. Let me make sure. Do we teach moving to Vercel and the VIP of VC Inc? No, in VIP is more so for monetization. I always say like the free community is where you start and VIP is where you finish. You know, like the free community is where you build, and this is free community is where you build, VIP is where you launch, right? Like that type of idea where it's like when you're ready to make money, that's where. But because I'm seeing more and more about it, we can actually make that one of the sessions for the master classes here. Awesome, Talha. Thank you so much. Marla said, if I join VIP now, should I wait until Jan, assuming there will be canceled dates over the next couple weeks? Let me see. Christmas is on like a Thursday. So I think that I'm probably pretty set on, I don't think that I'd be canceling sessions. I think like all the next Mondays I've accounted for.
Can I just ask a quick question about it?
Yeah.
Because, hey, Kayla.
Hey.
So I have it ready. It's just got some little things that I can't seem to get it to work out. Like it's not sending an email to one of the emails and it's not giving an output. You know, it's just two little things and then it's ready to go. So I just need help with that. So is the VIP where I can get that?
Yes. So that's like the very like this is, as you can see, very general. So people will kind of like take their PDF ideas and then apply what I learned today in the strategy. But this would be like, oh, here, let's take a look. Let's troubleshoot the email. Let's look at the API integration. Let's look if you're doing a resend key versus you're sending it in high level, those type of things. So yeah,
Right.
That's where we would do it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I would like some feedback on it too. Like the things like we're going over today, even just to say, okay, well, things that I wouldn't know that I don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's totally understandable. Yeah, and
Okay,
that's
that helps.
Yeah, and I wish I can do it for everyone, but because it's so personalized,
No,
or
I
it's
got
like the
it.
idea,
Sure,
that's why we do it in VIP, because those
100%.
are like the things for monetization. But you know, I think
Totally get it.
hopefully everybody got a good amount of value here. And if you have some PDF that's been collecting dust in your downloads or on a Google Drive somewhere, it's time to bring it back and breathe new life into it. Awesome. So I put in a link there to our upgrade to VIP. I'm going to go ahead and hop over to our VIP in about 2 minutes here. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to restart my computer just because it's been like a little slow, but I will be over there in VIP so that we can also focus on some monetization strategies. So I want to take a look at your apps, talk about monetizing, and then also we'll have that VIP session tomorrow of our very first build lab. So anybody who, like Marla, wants to come get troubleshoot some specific issues, get your app working, or if you just want to come and you just want to have like an accountability session and not build alone in case you do run into some issues, you can just sit there with some music, with some tea, and we can just build virtually together. Awesome. Yes, Christine is thinking about the PDFs. Put the link on the main page, please. Which link, Jojo? The
The VIP one.
Oh yeah, I
Send
just
it
put that there.
again.
There we go. So upgrading to VIP there.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on next Monday. And I'm going to start uploading, I think, these replays to YouTube. I'm still figuring out if we're do YouTube or just inside of a course. But you'll get the replays. So thanks again. Talk to you soon.